He's engaged to girlfriend Sky Daly. He was first married to Linda Hogan, with whom he shares 2 children, Brooke and Nick.
Then just do what's best for you.
A $30 million fortune now hangs in the balance. An absent daughter who claims to have footage that could rewrite the entire story of his death, and a son who faces backlash after a disrespectful stunt. Why did Brooke Hogan skip her father's funeral entirely? Why is she pushing to unlock recordings that police have locked away? Could Hogan's widow really walk away with tens of millions while his own children are left fighting? And why, of all things, is Gavin Newsom's name suddenly part of this story? Let's start from the beginning. On July 24, 2025, Clearwater, Florida police and paramedics responded to a medical emergency at Hulk Hogan's home. The man the world knew as Hulk Hogan, wrestling icon, media personality, household name, had suffered acute cardiac arrest. But the cause of death wasn't just a heart attack. The coroner's report listed chronic lymphocytic leukemia and atrial fibrillation as significant factors. His death was officially ruled natural. Court filings revealed that Hogan's final wishes included cremation, a choice his family honored. Almost immediately, tributes poured in online. Hashtags like Rip Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania Forever began trending worldwide. Friends, fans, and even rivals posted their memories. Sky Daly, his third wife, told the press she was in pieces, even though she had recently reassured fans his heart was strong after surgery. But while the public mourned, inside the family, the cracks were already showing. Stick with me because this is where things get complicated. On August 5th, a private funeral was held at Indian Rocks Baptist Church in Largo, Florida. Wrestling legends sat alongside celebrities like Kid Rock and Dennis Rodman. Linda Hogan, the ex-wife whose divorce from Hulk was one of the nastiest in Hollywood history, was there. But Brooke Hogan was not. Her absence was glaring. It became the immediate subject of tabloid headlines. Fans speculated, was this an act of protest, an emotional breakdown, a final silent statement against her father? Days later, Brooke broke her silence. She said she chose to say her goodbye privately, walking on the beach with loved ones, instead of standing in the church. But that wasn't all she revealed. In August, Brooke dropped a bombshell. There are police body cam recordings and 911 dispatch audio from the day of her father's death, and she claims they contain critical information that could change the narrative entirely. She says both law enforcement and medical personnel advised her to request the files, but Florida law has so far kept them sealed. Brooke offered to personally pay for a private autopsy if it would help uncover the truth. She also said her brother Nick was coordinating efforts from his end. Here's where it gets even more tense. Brooke is not in her father's will. She says she voluntarily removed herself years ago, which means she has no legal authority over his estate. She insists her investigation isn't about money, but about transparency. Still, the public can't help but wonder, if she's not after the money, what exactly does she think those recordings will reveal? While Brooke went quiet and investigative, Nick Hogan took a very different approach. On what would have been Hulk Hogan's 72nd birthday, August 11th, the late wrestler's Clearwater bar Hogan's Hangout opened its doors at 7 a.m. for an all-day tribute. That night, Nick led a raucous sing-along, beer in hand, surrounded by friends and fans. The scene was loud, boisterous, and captured on multiple phones. To some, it was a celebration of life. To others, it was tasteless, a disrespectful party held just 2 weeks after the funeral. And in the eyes of many fans, it cemented the image of a family divided not just in grief, but in values. By the time of his death, Hulk Hogan's fortune was estimated between $25 and $30 million. That's an enormous number, but a fraction of what it could have been. The drop came from years of high spending, legal fights, and the devastating 2009 divorce from Linda Hogan, which reportedly left her with 70% of their liquid assets. The infamous Gawker lawsuit brought Hogan a $140 million verdict, but after settlements and legal fees, the actual take-home was far smaller. Now the big question, who gets what's left? Sky Daly, as Hogan's legal spouse, is the presumed primary heir. If she inherits the bulk of the estate, Brooke and Nick could legally challenge the will. And with Brooke already on record as being out of the will, the tension is thick. Will Nick side with his sister or with his father's widow? The stage is set for one of the most public and bitter inheritance fights celebrity culture has seen in years. Just when the narrative seemed to be about grief and money, Linda Hogan changed the channel completely. In an interview with TMZ, Linda claimed that Hulk couldn't stand California Governor Gavin Newsom. The comment came in response to a bizarre online moment, a meme featuring Kid Rock, Tucker Carlson, and Hulk Hogan seemingly blessing Newsom. The image was clearly a joke, but Linda's statement suggested her ex-husband would never have played along. Was this just a petty dig from a long-estranged ex, or does it reveal something about Hogan's private political life that fans never knew? We may never know, but the timing of Linda's comment, right in the middle of the estate drama, raised eyebrows. As of now, Brooke continues to push for access to the sealed recordings. Nick continues his public celebrations of his father's life. Sky Daily remains largely silent but holds the legal high ground on the estate. Linda keeps stirring the pot from the sidelines. Somewhere in the middle of all this, there's a $30 million inheritance waiting to be divided, and a family that seems less likely to find common ground with each passing day. Would Nick and Brooke contest the will? Would the widow and children go to war? No one knew, but the tension in the air suggested this story was far from over. Now the question was, who inherits Hulkamania? If Sky Daily controlled the estate, would Brooke and Nick fight back? If his children were written into his will, would it cause rifts with his widow? So what's the aftermath of Hulk Hogan's death? It's complicated. And there you have it, the shocking, tangled, and deeply personal story unfolding in the wake of Hulk Hogan's death. A $30 million fortune up for grabs, a family divided by grief, pride, and old wounds, and whispers of political feuds that stretch far beyond the wrestling ring. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that Hogan's greatest battles might not have been in the squared circle, but in the aftermath of his final bell. So, what happens next? Will Sky Daily hold on to the empire? Or will Brooke and Nick wage a public war for their share? Will Linda's explosive claims spark a new scandal? Or are we only seeing the first round of a fight that could get even uglier? One thing's for sure, we'll be watching. If you made it this far, you clearly love digging into the stories Hollywood doesn't want you to hear. So, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive or the latest gossip. Because in the world of celebrity legacies, the truth is always stranger than fiction.